I'm Janice-Marie Johnson of A Taste of Honey, and you're watching LadiesBehindTheBeat.tv.
Ladies Behind the Beat.tv. LadiesBehindTheBeat.tv.
Miss ALTHEA Renee. She is a renowned, incredible flautist. Is that I say that right?
Yes,
Flautist, because
yes.
some people say flutist. I like flautist.
Yes.
What's the correct pronunciation?
Well, you know, they're both correct. It's just that flautist means that you have formal training.
I
That's
didn't
it.
know that.
Yeah.
And speaking of formal training, I read a little bit on you.
Oh.
And to say formal training is an understatement. Tell us when you started playing.
I started playing flute at about the age of 4, and my dad is actually one of the original Funk Brothers, and yeah, coming from Detroit, and he played with the Motown band, and that's where basically kind of started with my brothers and just playing different instruments. And when I picked up the flute, I just really fell in love with it, and that was it. At 4.
I wish I could have started at 4. I think I started at 19 or 18.
Wow.
But that's okay. I made up for that time.
Oh yeah.
So who were some of your influences?
Early on, Hubert Laws, Yusuf Lateef, Ian Anderson, Dave Valentine, Taste of Honey.
You gotta be
I have
kidding me.
no, definitely. You guys were such an influence because there weren't that many female role models, and you just didn't see women performing. And there was Bobby Humphrey, and there was Taste of Honey, and I just loved the bass and how you guys worked it. It was just, that was a real influence for me coming up. I came from a classical background, and straight classical, and at the time I was at Howard University. I won a classical scholarship there, and somewhere in there I wanted to start experimenting with jazz, and I attempted to join the jazz band, but at the time you had to play saxophone. You couldn't just play flute, and I didn't want to play saxophone. I just decided I would just go to some of the jam sessions and just start asking if I could sit in. So my style really came out of somewhat anger of that the band wouldn't come down and they would just drown me out. So I started just kind of syncopating, and I could kind of hear a little bit where I was.
And I heard you do something not long ago where it actually sounds like you were singing and playing at the same time.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. What is that?
Well, I like to call it flute talk. And it's just, it's kind of a percussive thing. And again, it enhances, it makes the sound bigger. You know, the thrust air that you use to blow a note, if you do that in spurts, you know, while you're blowing, and then you make a sound, whether it's be singing, talking, screaming, or whatever, at the same time that you're blowing, it creates an effect that gives a bigger sound, and it cuts through.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I said even a deaf person could hear the music just from your body movement.
Oh yeah.
You are just too much. You're too much.
Thank
it's awfully
you.
good.
Flute being an obscure type of an instrument, you want to try to get people's attention. You know, as much as your original music may be beautiful and represent you, people recognize songs that they know, and so it's always a good thing just to be more diversified, to do cover songs. Rex Rideout, one of the premier producers, he's just produced everyone, and I had an opportunity to work with him on that song, as well as the Shanice Wilson cover, I Love Your Smile.
Okay. Now, do you write original songs also? Do you? I know you've got some CDs, and I'm going to talk about that a little later.
Okay.
But
I love to write. I do. I usually collaborate with keyboardists, and I write melodies mostly.
Okay.
But sometimes I could be driving and the whole song will just come in my head. So it comes in waves like that.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because writing does come in different ways. I was going to say, if you write melodies, do you write the melody, then take it to the keyboard player and say add some chords, and they give you a track, and then you play to their track? I would imagine.
And I've done both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Where can we find your CDs, and how many do you have, and what are the titles?
Oh, okay.
Where can we find it?
I actually have 4 CDs. The first one being kind of an experiment, and that one was entitled Flute Talk, followed by Chocolate Rush, which was the one that I self-produced. Then I, at that point, got a deal.
So do you have a new CD out now?
I do. It's entitled No Restrictions, which is distributed by Universal. So each project, you know, was better and better. And you can find them at cdbaby.com, amazon.com, iTunes, as well as from my website at althearene.com.
Or at your concerts, right?
Oh, definitely. You can get a signed one.
That's right.
My mission with bringing the flute back, because it's been missing in jazz, and it's to make it exciting. It's also to make it entertaining and make it into a show. Jazz doesn't have to be boring.
Where are you going to be performing again next?
I'm going to be on the Capitol Jazz Cruise coming up. So that's a 7-day cruise, and I'm real excited. I'm one of the headliners, and I get a whole hour and a half.
Wow, that's great. I bet you already got your outfit picked out.
Oh, I'm working on it.
Showtime.
I'm working on it.
What advice would you give to young aspiring musicians, female or males?
I think to really be prepared, not just to learn your craft, but to learn who you are as an artist and what you want to project in your music and in your personality, because music these days, there are dime a dozen saxophone, trumpet, whatever instrument, but what do you bring that makes that unique?
Through my career, I've had a few issues with men saying things like you play okay or you play great for a girl. Have you ever ran into anything like that?
If you're playing an instrument where you're standing out front as well, I think it's a little, you have a harder way to go.
Okay.
You have to be really strong and have tough skin.
I know there's no problem with you being strong because you're a fellow Capricorn.
Yes.
Born on, when were you born?
Christmas Day.
Ooh, my Lord. Thank you so much for joining us here at Ladies Behind the Beat.tv. So appreciate it.